we add for a little bit. And special thanks to STPGA for allowing me to open for a Texas Hall of Fame. So I guess this is what it looks like as somebody open for a So let me just start by telling you just a little bit about Foresight Sports, who we are, and what I'll call Foresight Sports. So Foresight Sports was acquired about 3 years ago. Our parent company was originally called Vista Outdoor. We are now owned by a company called Revelyst. We have about 42 brands underneath the Revelyst umbrella. A few of those you would recognize, mostly outdoor sports brands, but of course the main one that really pairs well with Foresight Sports is Bushnell Golf, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Who we are is, what Foresight Sports is we're an engineering firm. We just happen to be an engineering firm that focuses on camera-based technology used in the golf industry. We were started in 2008. We have a headquarters right outside Naval Air Base in Miramar, Texas now, a Marine base, but right outside Naval Base, Miramar, right by Top Gun. Okay, and we have now over 250 employees, and if you look at all the business cards of the employees at Foresight Sports, I stack them all up, the majority of those would be engineers. So that's really what we are, is we're an engineering firm, whether that be software engineers, hardware engineers, industrial engineers, and then production as well. So Made in USA through and through. So while we might bring in some components from our international partners, everything is assembled, it's researched, developed, assembled, quality assurance, 100% quality assurance of all our products at our location in San Diego. If any of you, I will reach out after this, if any of you are in San Diego, you would like to stop by and visit, we would love to host you. Gives you a real good idea of exactly what we are capable of and what we're doing at Foresight Sports through all those steps. So once again, over 25 years of experience in the technology, golf technology, camera-based technology space. So 1993 is when my golf career started. And what I was hired to do is pick the range for a little golf startup company called Callaway Golf. And when we started to develop our technology, we started using camera-based technologies at the test center. So if you ever been at the test center at Callaway Golf, they have 2 days that get out from indoors to out. We used to have these cameras, and they were ballistics cameras. And we would put strikes on the golf ball. And when you hit a golf ball, you could hear the ballistics cameras locking in on the golf ball. And based on the strikes we put on them, that's how we would measure ball data. So this is the precursor. It's about mid-90s. And then, like I said, we started introducing golf launch monitor technology in the late 2000s, almost to 2010. This device you see here, a lot of people would recognize. It's called a GC2. It was a 2-camera system. It was introduced in 2010. There are devices in the field today, that particular technology right there, that are working fantastic. The only reason why we don't continue to make it is many of the components in the GC2 are no longer manufactured by our partners that do the technology. So we've pivoted and come up with some great new products. So when we look at one of the Foresight Sports advantages is we are measuring ball and club data to research levels of accuracy. We're also doing it independently. So I don't look at my ball data and ask to verify club data or vice versa. We're measuring the data independently. And I will tell you this, whatever brand that you are representing or you have in your golf shop, right now when they're doing R&D testing, whether that be golf ball or golf club, they're using our technology in one way, shape, or form. When they come up with a new prototype and they send it to the governing bodies for conformance testing, those governing bodies are verifying using Foresight Sports technology. So really since the restart, there's been this huge surge in Foresight Sports technology being used on the PGA Tour. So it is the #1 launch monitor on the PGA Tour. We're going to win accounts week in and week out with very little variance. Sometimes we don't win. There's other weeks we win going away. I'll explain why. This is one of the Foresight Sports advantages. It's a little bit later in the slide, but I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. The reason why they use this technology on the PGA Tour is the GC Quad, so our long-standing flagship product, has been on the market for 7 years now, has a built-in barometer. We're measuring ball data for about 14 to 18 inches of flight. And from that, I'm getting velocity, backspin, launch angle, spin tilt axis, and then I'm plugging that into a all-flight algorithm and combining it with the built-in barometer. And from that information, I can tell you what your ball flight is at that moment, at that location, wherever you might be. As an example, I'm in San Diego, so I'm going to use this example. Tour player goes out in the morning wave on Thursday at Torrey Lines. The air is dense, right? You've got a lot of marine layer. 7 iron might be flying 168. Goes out in the afternoon wave on Friday. The marine layer is lifted, and that same golf shot, all the same data points, is flying 6 yards per minute. We don't know that's worth $1 million. This is one of the Foresight sports advantages. But 3 weeks ago, they played Utah. Our technology was most widely, we had the largest margins for the nearest competitor of all the entire year. What for reason? Altitude. So they want to know, they're practicing at home here, and then they're going to Utah, and they want to know their carry distances. Okay, I'm going to click the built-in barometer, I'll just tell you what your carry distance is. So that's one of the Foresight sports advantages, and that's why it's the leading launch monitor on the field. What goes hand in hand with the PGA Tour, and I work with a lot of college programs, including with the University of Texas golf team. I'll have a nice little anecdotal story about them. Now it's being widely used by colleges. Same reasons, right? So, University of Texas, 2022, played in the national championship at Greyhawk in Scottsdale. They got a few days of practice in that environment, and they wanted to verify all their data. So now when they go and practice, whether that be at Greyhawk or a nearby club, or not, they're just going to put that GC quad down, and do the same with the GC3. Put that GC quad down on the ground, hit shots, and get your carry distance. So if I'm at my club, and I shoot a laser and it says 150, and I hit 3 identical shots, and I look down at the quad and it says I'm down for 150 yards. And as I see up on the green, every one of those shots landed about 6 paces short. What happened? Something happened that made it land 6 paces short. Wind, uphill, those would be examples of what happens. And that's the verification that they're looking for when these kids are traveling, because they're not playing in the same location on a weekend and weekend basis. So over 200, almost 300 programs now are relying on our technology indoors and outdoors. And then obviously some of the best coaches in the world are using Foresight Sports as their launch monitor of choice when collecting data. So the list is long. We have a very long list of advisors, including some of these. And then we are very proud to say that we've been supporting the PGA of America for 10 years plus. That might be things like national, obviously the PGA show, national programs, and then sectional programs. So I see a lot of familiar faces in this crowd. So we've been with the Southern Texas PGA now. I think this is our 4th year, if I don't think we are 3rd year. We're very invested in supporting sections of PGA professionals. We're very proud of that partnership. So like I said, I've been working with the Southern Texas PGA. I love doing these educational summits. So this is one of the things you would see me at. If you go and play in the Texas Team Challenge at Horseshoe Bay in the summertime, you'd see me out on a par 3 doing a melanoma test on how hot it can get for 2 days standing up there in the Texas Team Challenge. So once again, I'm going to go further into kind of some of the differentiators. Like I said, I like to call it Foresight Sports Advantage. So I'm going to measure club data and ball data independent of one another. So when we're talking about path, angle, attack, base angles on and impact location launch from live and measured at the point of touch. As soon as that golf ball is just moved ever so slightly, cameras, 2 independent cameras are going to take advantage of that. Those 2 same cameras are also going to watch the golf club moving into the point of impact. So that's how we're measuring that data. and we're going to measure the ball data independently. One of the great things about using our technology also is it's very versatile. So you'll see it out on the PGA Tour, you got a little tour clip they put on it, and they'll just carry it around and hit shots all day long. There's no setup required. In that environment, you just want carry distance. So they want to know what their start line was, they just want to know what their carry distance is, and that's one of the nice versatile things about the Foresight sports product. So obviously the accuracy, whether you are indoors or outdoors, I'm measuring that data the exact same way. So if I hit a golf shot, let's say Chief Rennie is hitting a golf shot indoors, and he keeps hitting it into the screen, I'm going to measure that data and I've got that data set. I'm going to lift up that screen and hit that same shot from indoors to outdoors, same data. It's not affected by downrange conditions, because once again, we're measuring it for about 18 inches of flight. And that's why it's really reliant on the indoor environment. Now, so they're measured independently. So in order to do simulated golf, you don't need any club data. So if I just have ball data, I can do simulated golf. And then if I want to obviously add club data, you can add that, but they're not related. As far as, obviously they're related to cause and effect, but as far as the data that I'm capturing, I'm not looking at club data whatsoever. You also see it with our technology because I'm only measuring ball data for this distance. By the time it hits the ball hits the screen, you'll actually see the golf ball take off in the virtual world where it left the real world. So, for instance, if you get a lofted shot and it hits the top of the screen, you'll see the ball fly out of the top of the screen in the virtual world. Some of our competitors, every shot comes out of the center of the bottom of the screen, and it takes a couple seconds for it to go. The reason for that is they're verifying the data. We've already got the data. And then, like I said, we've got technology that's been in the market since 2010, still going strong to this day. So that's a little bit of the validation. Like I said, GC Quad's been in the market for 7, almost going on 8 years now, and I've got devices that are being used by professionals that have been going that entire time, and very little maintenance issues. So I'm not saying it's without exception, right? But it is one of the hallmarks of Foresight. And this is just gives you a depiction of the difference between camera-based and radar-based technology. I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what all this means. I'm going to focus on what we do. So I'm not here to take exception to what competitors do, but here's what I can tell you. We are in that 14 inches of ball flight. You can see it in this image, and I'll show it to you in the next image. We are measuring spin tilt axis. So I'm actually taking several thousand images, and I'm watching both the horizon of the golf ball and that Titleist logo turn and tilt. If I can measure this, I can tell you how much of this is going on every range. So whether the ball hit the screen on the right-hand side or the left-hand side means nothing to us because we already measured it when we were here. In other words, if the ball hit the right-hand side of the screen and I've got an open face, well, that's a push, right? No, because you hit it in high toe, and that is actually going to spin. It's going to tilt this spin tilt on its head. And we're going to see downrange, we're going to see that golf ball come back. Because we can measure that, we're actually going to depict that in the virtual world. The last point there is just operating in a really small space. Like I said, we're only measuring data for this amount of space. You can also have an overhead device that resides about 4 feet in front of the player, and it's going to capture that data. So what happens behind me if I've got 17 feet of depth? Can I build a golf simulator with Foresight Sports technology? And then this is just another depiction of what that looks like. If you'll see, there's the golf club face. Just before that was the impact point. By using the fiducial for dots on the face of the golf club, we're actually going to characterize that golf club at the point of impact and as it leads into impact. So that's how we do measure it. I know that there's a point of contention as far as convenience is concerned, but I would say is let's make sure we get accurate data. That's how we do it. I'm not saying that that will always be the case with Foresight Sports. We are an engineering firm and we're always working to get better, but as it stands today, we club data to face data, you need 4 dots, club data, you need 1. It doesn't. So there was some discussion on whether having the logo face the cameras would improve, what some people call improve the signal. It doesn't, because what we're really looking at is the horizon of the golf ball. So there's imperfections on that sphere, and that's the dimples, and that's really what we're locking in on. It's not just the logo. I would tell you, if you had a huge club logo on that golf ball, that could actually diminish the accuracy. So I would actually, or it might diminish the shot capture. I would actually turn it away from that logo. I wouldn't turn it towards it. I will tell you, just from personal experience, matte finish golf balls are not as successful in capture as we are with just the standard golf balls that we traditionally use. Yes, it's hard for the cameras to lock in on that matte as opposed to the shiny. And this is another one of the Foresight. We are not measuring spin tilt axis, because I can see, just like those images I just showed you, how that golf ball is rotating. It's getting smaller and smaller, so that golf ball is moving more to the left. And that would be my guess. That does have something to do with the way we measure. And then, like I said, this is the slide about the onboard recorder. So, like I said, I've got a quad max with me, and it'll tell us what the conditions are inside here. If you're using your quad or quad max and you have it indoors in the golf course and you want to use it outdoors in the golf course, just put it out in that environment. Because if I take mine out of the trunk of my car and go into the range, it needs to cycle through and identify what the barometric pressure is. So let's get a few minutes to know. It'll tell us what the altitude is. It'll actually tell you your pitch and roll. So you can put it on a side hill line and have it say, okay, that's 12 degrees of pitch. Let's hit a golf shot. Let's see how 12 degrees of pitch affects your path or ball flight, those types of things. And then I'm just going to introduce some of the products that we have. Most of you would know this, which is really exciting. When I started with this company 7+ years ago, first thing I had to do was introduce Foresight Sports. And since there's been a lot of adoption of our technology, which we're very proud of, folks at least are familiar with us. So this year we introduced the Quad Max. To piggyback on the great success we've had with the GC Quad. It does not measure any different data. It operates very much like a GC Quad in the indoor environment. When you take it outdoors, it has several advantages. For instance, it's lighter weight, it has a longer battery life. It's a touch screen, and I can actually customize the tiles on the screen. So if you have a GC Quad, it switches back and forth, all data clipping, and you can't customize what you want to see. So maybe the player doesn't, or you don't want the player to see on the onboard display what their club speed is. Okay, so let's just remove that, and I can have different screens. Or say at your club, multiple people are using the GC Quad, and you are a teaching professional, you want to see certain data on the screen. It has what they call near-field communications. It's the same thing you do with Apple Pay. So basically, you would just go up to the device, tap your phone that has the app against the device. It'll launch the app. It'll connect with the Quad Max, and then you could have your own preset. So if I'm a fitter, maybe I just want path, angle of attack, maybe impact location, and then a second screen that's got velocity, backspin, and launch condition, launch angle. Okay, then I'm going to do that. It is actually capable of speed training. So if you've got somebody doing a stack system or something similar, it can actually measure club speed without a golf ball being activated. Then it has the same putting application that we do with the GC Quad. The device you see on the right, that's an overhead version of our technology. It's called the Foresight Falcon. So that device is golf specific. It is the exact same technology. So I'm often asked the question, is the GC Quad more accurate than a GC3 ball data? Is the Falcon less accurate than a GC Quad? They're all held to the same standard. So when we introduced the GC Quad, we said we want to measure to this really, really tight tolerance, and everything from the GC quad on has to hold that same level of accuracy. So they're no less or more accurate. The GC Foresight Falcon measures both ball, club, and what I call, now I differentiate club and face data and what's like that. So the one on the left is the original GC quad, the one in the center is the GC3. GC3 is a 3-camera system, measures ball data just like any of our other devices do. It only measures because it only has 3 cameras. It has 1 camera focused on path, angle of attack, upspeed, and efficiency. It cannot characterize the golf ball at the point of touch. So can it do face angle, impact location, loft and line impact? It cannot, it will not, it will never. But what I can tell you is, at that price point, start with a GC3, use it, become more and more successful, get some validation. All right, now I'll upgrade you into a GC quad. Simply a hardware point. And then the GC Hawk has been in the market for about 4 years now. It's our original overhead. It is set to do multi-sport. It is not capable of doing anything but a soccer skill drill right now. I sell GC, for every one GC Hawk I probably sell, well, Falcon, less expensive, smaller form factor, not as heavy. So for that reason, most of my clients are using the Foresight.
GC Hawk can be all the same parameters.
It can. So they're all held to the same standard. The GC Hawk actually has a smaller ball lock area than the Foresight Falcon. The Foresight Falcon ball lock area is approximately 50 inches wide by 30 inches deep. And I would challenge any of our competitors to come close to that. No. Now, I will tell you, as you get to the more lofty golf club faces, you open up that wedge. Sometimes it doesn't get all four of the dots. In other words, it's not going to get face data because of the way that the golf club is delivered. And then as far as our simulator solutions are concerned, we make both custom and prefabricated solutions. The prefabricated solution is called Sim in a Box. It's everything you would need for a golf simulator all in one package: projector, computer, hitting net, turf, enclosure, and whatever technology you choose. It is modular. It's put together and put up the frame, much like an Easy Up tent. So I would say, 2 people, 2 8-foot ladders, about half a day to put it up. The genesis of Sim in a Box was clubs in the Northeast that are, the club is staying open, golf course closes. Okay, let's put it, and you'll see we've actually got the projector is in a cart. The reason is, if you think of a club in the Northeast that is closing the golf course for the winter, okay, let's put a simulator in the golf shop. And we'll take it down when we use the launch water outdoors for fitting and instruction in the summertime. And then we do make custom simulator solutions. So we can design, fabricate an installation team that can come and install that on that. And then just to go through some of our programs, we are partners with the Falls of Honor. I had the great pleasure of being at American Dunes this summer for the collegiate event. That's a special place if you ever get a chance to get to Michigan and see that. We also have a military and first responders program. We do have a junior program that we offer for those kind of aspiring juniors that want to play competitively or are already playing competitively. We do support NCAA programs. We have green grass programs, so you all can enjoy promotional or special pricing as a PGA professional. If you introduce one of your members, clients, neighbors to Foresight Sports, we'll provide you a referral for that, whether that's towards purchasing technology or we'll get you a check. And then just quickly going through some partnerships. These are some of the different partnerships we have, including Swing Cap, Sports Box. And just wanted to let you guys know there's a company called PenSeeker that we acquired. PenSeeker kind of does a DraftKings version of the software. The key is they're going to create something called Foresight Sports Studios, and you're going to see an all-new software platform coming from Foresight Sports. And I think, oops, sorry. So once again, just going back to the relationship with Bushnell Golf, this will be my last slide. Imagine hitting either indoors or outdoors and collecting the data, pushing the data into the cloud, so you have your own depository of all the shots you hit, and then pairing that and going out on the golf course and shooting your yardage and getting advice on what shot you should hit based on all the data you've been collecting for months and years. So that's a little bit of peeling back the curtain on what you'll probably see, let's say, at the PGA show this year. And then just, you know, I know that Sportsbox, a lot of folks are using them here. We are integrated with Sportsbox. And PutQ will be in our software for game simulation. Let's call that next year. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Maybe just a couple of minutes. Yes, sir.
Set the temperatures the same. What's the difference in all distance? Use of humidity compared to 7 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, so I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what that is, but that is a significant factor, right? So what is it going to be, and also different conditions. So right now, the
Also,
also
the barometric pressure is the same. I just feel like I'm not winning all this water because of 7 Celsius.
that's right, it's air density, right? So that's the air density. Hey, Andrew?
Humidity makes the ball go further.
Okay. If that's true, then it's in our ball. I'm sorry, I'm not questioning. Yeah, I'm not questioning it.
There's other factors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned there's a new software coming, is that a replacement of it technically?
Yeah, that's right. So if you know how our software works, Play, Pro, 2020, they all know these different. We're going to put it in one ecosystem. We've got feedback on this.
That's good.
All right, thanks everyone. Oh yeah, one more.
When it comes to storing that data, can you have like different subset folders like your store for transportation students?
Yeah, so every one of your students could have their own, it's called FSX Live. Every one of your students can have login credentials. It'll push all their data into the cloud and timestamp it. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is log in. Thanks everyone.